Good evening. Tonight on Here and Now, political and labor leaders sound the alarm about the province's water bombers.
This province's water bomber fleet is in crisis, so the provincial government is preparing some big pay increases to keep those important planes in the air.
We feel confident that if we can address the pay issue, that we will be able to recruit, because people have left the service, left the province because of pay.
That story coming up.
The weather has been, well, you could say unbearable, but that hasn't stopped Butterpot Park from being all solar all the time.
The weather that we've had on the Avalon Peninsula this spring and early summer has been harsh, and one of our locations ran for 29 days in those weather conditions without requiring a minute of backup.
Coming up on Here and Now.
This is CBC Here and Now.
Welcome to Here and Now. A crew shortage is keeping most of the province's water bombers in their hangars. This comes at a time when forestry officials are warning about the potential risk of fire. Here and Now's Terry Roberts has our top story.
The global shortage of pilots and a spike in sick leave is seriously affecting this province's ability to respond to forest fires. Right now, just 1 of 4 airworthy water bombers are available to respond to emergencies. So the provincial government is preparing to offer some big pay raises to water bomber air crews.
All I can say is that's what I'm working on, and and I know we need to achieve that to recruit and retain water bomber pilots.
But critics are blaming the government for allowing this to happen.
We have one plane, and we have a massive geography to cover. So the risk is we have to do it alone with one plane. That's the scary situation.
We're down to now we're only about 50% of the normal crew that we would have.
8 of 12 positions are currently filled, and in recent days, pilots have been calling in sick. And how does that make you feel?
Well, I'm obviously nervous and concerned.
John Abbott says he's been meeting with the pilots, offering assurances they will be looked after and are appreciated for their important and dangerous work.
We feel confident that if we can address the pay issue, that we will be able to recruit, because people have left the service, left the province because of pay. We think if we are competitive, that they will come back, and we have, we're confident in that regard.
Critics say the government knew the situation was serious months ago and should have acted earlier.
And these pilots are extremely concerned, extremely stressed, and while the rest of us want to see sunshine and dry weather, these pilots actually cross their fingers when they see the rain like they're hitting here in Goose Bay right now where I am.
We have no one able to fly them right now, and plus we have one that's been sitting in a hangar for years with an indecisive government not knowing what to do with it.
As of today, there were 89 fires in the province, burning nearly 22,000 hectares of forest. Relatively quiet, according to forestry officials. High-risk areas include southeastern Labrador, the areas east of Gander towards Terra Nova. High humidity levels have helped keep the forests from drying out. There's rain today in places like central Labrador, and showers are expected this week for parts of Newfoundland. John Abbott says he expects the number of available water bombers should increase to 3 on Tuesday, and in the event of an emergency, he's confident pilots will return from sick leave.
We recognize that. I think it's fair to say that both the employer and the employees are on the same page.
John Abbott says this is his department's #1 priority. And he says a proposal including generous pay increases to water bomber air crews is imminent. Pay increases in the range of 20%. Terry Roberts, CBC News, St. John's.
Well, police are investigating a fatal collision that happened on the Southern Shore Highway over the weekend. A portion of Robert E. Howlett Memorial Drive was closed Saturday afternoon after a motorhome and an SUV collided. The driver of the SUV, a 64-year-old man from St. John's, died at the scene. A 58-year-old woman was driving the motorhome. She was taken to hospital with serious injuries. The RNC is asking any witnesses or anyone with footage from Saturday to share their information. And a 77-year-old man was killed over the weekend after crashing his motorcycle on the Trans-Canada Highway near Soldiers Pond. It happened Saturday afternoon. Police say the man died at the scene. The Office of the Chief Medical Examiner is involved and an investigation is underway. And firefighters in Nain are dealing with a fire at an important building in the community. The Alusuak Cultural Center in Nain filled with smoke this afternoon. Videos and photos show the smoke as well as a number of firefighters working at the scene. The center opened in 2019 and houses a number of Nunatsiavut artifacts and cultural items. It was supposed to open back in 2014, but faced delays, one of which was the need for a fire suppression system. The Nunatsiavut government is asking everyone to avoid the area. There's no word yet on the cause or how much damage was done. Well, it was a blistering hot afternoon in central Newfoundland today. A heat warning is in effect with temperatures hitting 28 to 33 degrees. The splash pad in Gander was a popular spot to beat the heat for families. Kids ran and splashed and soaked up the fun and the sun to beat the scorching temperatures.
I'm playing in the splash pad. I like to run in the water all around the splash pad. When you stand under it, the buckets fill up with water and then fall on you.
So here on the Avalon, it feels like 33 degrees with the Humidex. How are you guys beating the heat today?
We are having fun at the splash pad today.
And is it helping you cool off?
Oh, definitely.
What other kinds of things are you guys going to do to stay cool today?
We'll probably sit in the shade, have our snack out of the sun, but probably run around some more in the splash pad.
What do you guys like about the splash pad?
How refreshing it is. We are playing in the water, and when we go in the water, we get up and we go down the slide. Those buckets, they go pouring on you.
And what does it feel like when the water splashes down on top of your head?
Cold and like a lot of water coming down. I'm here with my friend Declan, and we're just here to have fun. Water gets dumped on your head.
And how does that feel because it's so hot out?
It feels good.
What's your favorite thing about playing in the splash pad?
The rings that have the water spewing out of them.
What toy out there is your favorite? What water toy?
All of them. Swimming, having fun, going on swing and playing.
What's your favorite part?
Getting water.
Getting in the water. And how does it feel because it's so hot out when the water dumps down on top of your head?
Cold.
It's really, really hot out today. And how does it feel when you run through the water?
Cold.
Is that nice? Yeah.
And let me tell you, I was pretty tempted to run through that splash pad myself because here in St. John's right now, it is 28 degrees. And with the Humidex, it is not 33 anymore. It is feeling like 34 degrees. Now with the Humidex, with the winds from the west at 28 kilometers per hour. Talking about the weather that is on the way now. Tonight, we're going to have some cloud here on the east coast, some showers, though, along the west coast, as much as 5 millimeters, and some showers for the south coast and into Labrador as well. But on Wednesday, the heat continues, and so does the heat warning. It's going to be warm on Wednesday, too. Taking a look at that heat warning now, the heat warning should subside for parts of the west coast later today, but it's going to persist in through central parts of the island, the Bonavista Peninsula, into tomorrow, possibly Wednesday, where we could see as much as 40 degrees with the Humidex in central tomorrow. And we also have a heat warning for Labrador, for the southern part of Labrador, where we're going to see our Humidex values up into the mid-30s as well. Taking a look at our future tracker now, we can see some showers that are going to be moving off Labrador through parts of the northern peninsula and across the west coast before things start to clear off tomorrow. We'll have your full forecast with those Humidex values coming up a little later in the show.
Thanks, Heather. Well, Butterpot Provincial Park is soaking up the sun. It's now powering its facilities using solar power rather than diesel fuel. Butterpot is the last of 3 provincial camping parks to make the switch. It's a move that aims to improve parks for campers and reduce the province's carbon footprint. Mark Quinn reports.
It's hot today, but the cool, rainy spring and early summer we had means rivers are still running a little high in Butterpot Park. It's a sound you couldn't always hear. Longtime park user Adam Cardolis remembers when diesel generators at Butterpot drowned most everything out.
It was loud. You could kind of always hear them in the background. You could smell them. Whenever there'd be problems with the generators, they would emit a lot of thick black smoke. Nobody wants that when you're camping. And the fact that they've gone solar is fantastic.
This spring, Butterpot was the last of 3 provincial parks to convert from diesel to solar power. Switching all 3 cost the province about $750,000. It means all of the province's 13 camping parks are now run on either solar or electric power from the grid. The tourism minister says there's one clear benefit. The province will burn less fossil fuel.
The savings of 55,000 litres of diesel fuel a year in all 3 parks. So, that cost is significant, and it's even more significant now if you look at, the cost of fuel.
At about $1.75 per litre, that's a savings of more than $90,000 annually.
Well, I think anytime we have the ability to change over from the reliance on fossil fuels, it's a good thing for the people of the province. It's great for cost savings for the park in general terms, but important to us, it reduces greenhouse gas emissions.
Of course, eastern Newfoundland is famous for prolonged periods of rain, drizzle and fog. So the question is, will solar power work? Park officials say yes. Even during the recent miserable January weather, solar panels continued to power up the park.
The weather that we've had on the Avalon Peninsula this spring and early summer has been harsh, and one of our locations ran for 29 days in those weather conditions without requiring a minute of backup.
Fossil fuels haven't been banished completely. The backup is propane, and personal generators that burn diesel are still permitted at the park's campsites. But that's changing too.
Even a lot of people's personal trailers have gone solar as well, so like the days of every trailer having its own generator are gone. If you quick walk around the park, you can see a lot of personal ones with solar panels set up outside as well.
The number of visitors has been down at Butterpot this year, but park officials say that with the weather improving, that will likely change too. Mark Quinn, CBC News, Butterpot Provincial Park.
Well, a school in Torbay will need some big repairs before September. A large number of windows were smashed at Holy Trinity High. It happened Tuesday and Thursday evening. Along with the windows, the property was also tagged with graffiti. The school board says the full extent of the damage has not been assessed yet, but it could cost as much as $10,000 to repair the school before September. Well, the Provincial Health Authority has opened a new family care clinic designed to help people without a family doctor. The clinic is open in Deer Lake, and patients can sign up by going online to the Patient Connect NL website. Right now, the clinic has 1 family doctor and 5 nurse practitioners, but is recruiting more doctors, nurses, and social workers. Once it's fully up and running, it will be able to serve 9,000 patients. This is one of 11 family clinics that were promised in this spring's provincial budget. Well, the Innu Nation is changing the way research is done on its land. It says the communities need to have more of a say in what research is done and what happens afterwards. Here in Now's Heidi Adder has more.
For generations, researchers have been coming to Shaji and Nawashish. They're working on masters and doctorates about Innu living on the land, culture, and more. But when they leave the community, the results of their research don't always return. Now, the Innu Nation wants to see those archival interview photographs and research returned, like these archival photographs from the Smithsonian Institute in Washington.
It's going to help with those, like the next steps of self-governance and the next step of being able to take back our own writing, our own word.
But it's not just past research. They want to change how current research is done. They're hosting a heritage research forum to change how research is done on Innu lands. The community has been sharing what they want to see researched, then Innu Nation can approach researchers, instead of researchers coming into Labrador with their own ideas.
I feel like a lot of the research that's happening right now is super exciting. But I do believe there's an Indigenous perspective that needs to be put into it.
Lorena Geiber hopes more care can be given when research is happening, and research can focus on solutions, not just problems, such as researching how to help people go out on the land to combat substance abuse, instead of just focusing on the addiction itself. Jody Ashini wants to see Innu be taken seriously as knowledge holders on their own lands and own culture.
It's time now that I think we have a say.
Innu Nation is in the process of building a cultural center to house these historic photographs and research and have a community space for the future. Heidi Adder, CBC News, Shaji Innu First Nation.
Well, it's a big week for Indigenous athletes across North America. Over 5,000 athletes and coaches are gathering in Halifax for the North American Indigenous Games. Over 120 of them are from Newfoundland and Labrador. CBC reporter Amanda Gear is there taking in some of the competitions and testing out her own sports skills. She joins us now from the Cultural Village. So Amanda, can you tell us about the group that's there from this province?
Certainly, Carolyn. We have a huge group of very talented athletes from all over Newfoundland and Labrador. There's more than 120 athletes here right now. It was so wonderful to watch them parade into the Scotiabank Centre last night in Halifax. The city was thumping with energy. It was like the heartbeat of Halifax was in the Scotiabank Centre during the opening ceremonies. I was able to watch our team walk into this center for the opening ceremonies with such pride, and not only from them, from their parents and their coaches.
Well, this week you're getting a chance to try out some of the sports too. So what is on your agenda this week?
Well, this week I plan on trying multiple sports. I've already done badminton, javelin, shot put. You're going to see me play a lot of sports, including volleyball. I tried my best with the Newfoundland and Labrador men's volleyball team this week. We'll see if I'm coming to the next NAG on a team. Okay.
And you gotta get ready to push the ball towards him. Not too hard. Don't go like that. Just go.
Just light?
Yeah, just light. Yeah.
Okay.
He's gonna get the ball to you. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hope I don't get a bruise. Yeah, I like that one. Do you think I can spike?
Yeah.
Okay. How do we do that?
Come over to the net, like right here.
Is there like a marking on the floor that I should follow?
No, not
okay.
really. Just like run this way, diagonally. You should have a wide base first.
Okay.
Like, to pass it.
Okay.
Like hit the ball at me. And then when you take off, just.
How long have you been playing volleyball?
Since grade 7, so about 12 or 13 years old.
So is this the first time you guys played together as a team?
Oh no, we've been training in Wolfville for the past week.
Oh, okay, so you only got together a week ago as a team, and you're the team to beat in NAG.
Yeah.
How does that happen? I'm ready. How do you jump so that you're going high? Like I've seen you like go 4 feet in the air. How do you do that?
I don't know. That's just me, I think.
How many steps would I need to take to get a good launch?
4. About
okay.
4.
I'm gonna try it. One more time. I'm so natural. I love the applause. What do you take away from volleyball? Like, what has it taught you about life?
Things don't always go your way. And if they don't go your way, then just it'll work out eventually.
I love that. Listen, I just practiced with the boys. Can I join your team? I'm really good.
Yeah, sure.
Let's go. This week, I'm going to be trying my hand at many sports, including badminton, javelin, discus. You're going to see me do it all, including play volleyball with the Newfoundland and Labrador men's team. I hope I make it.
Sounds like it's going to be a great time. Thank you so much. That's Amanda Gear in Halifax.
It's also a privilege to be able to see all these extraordinary young people who are out there in canoes and kayaks, competing with each other, but also growing themselves, developing their capacity to have an impact on the world around them as they travel through it.
Well, the Prime Minister was in Halifax this morning to help kick off events at the Games. Trudeau says the Games are about honoring athletic achievements, but it's also a celebration of identity, culture, and the future. We'll have more from the Games a little later on Here and Now. Well, whale watching is at the top of the to-do list for many tourists who come to Newfoundland and Labrador. And today, visitors didn't have to go far to see them. Humpbacks were putting on quite the show at Cape Spear. Have a look.
You know what? I've done some whale watching tours, but never seen anything as up close and natural as this before.
Humpback whales, they say, there's 2 humpback whales and 2 baby whales, they say it is.
Oh my God, so many. Yes, 5 or 6 we count in one moment. We saw the belly, we saw the finger footprint, yes. The white part, it was amazing.
It's the first time I've seen whales live in the wild, so that was fantastic.
I've seen many more here than we saw on the boat yesterday.
Exactly.
Which is a treat because we had to pay a lot of money yesterday to see only 2 of them, which was great. But you know what we did yesterday? We learned a lot about whale behavior. And now we are able to understand them more today than we did before the trip yesterday.
So it was worth it.
And it was a scorcher today. Just take a look at some of these temperatures as high as 32 in Badger. When you factor in the humidex, it was a lot hotter. We're going to break down your entire forecast. That's coming up next on Here and Now.
All right, so Heather is in for Ashley this evening. It looked like you had a good time earlier out at the splash pad at Bannerman Park. It's definitely a day that you want to be out doing some sort of water activity.
Absolutely. You know, it's beautiful out, but it's really, really hot out, and it is just such a good day to cool off in something like a splash pad because, my God, is it hot. And if you have air conditioning in your home, I'm sure you're sitting underneath it. Look at these temperatures, 29 in Terra Nova, 31 in Gander, 32 in Badger, and 31 in Deer Lake. You know, it's breached 30 in Corner Brook as well. And even when we get into Labrador, it's in the mid to upper 20s here as well. So let's factor in that humidex value now there and take a look. It's a little smaller on your screen to see, but you can see right here in Gander, the hot spot today, 37 degrees with the humidex, and it is going to inch even higher tomorrow as much of this central part and western part of the province is under a heat warning, and that's going to extend to Mary's Harbour, Cartwright area tomorrow as well. So just a really warm day, feeling like 34 here in St. John's, 32 in Bonavista, 35 in Twillingate. So very, very warm day. And if you are outside, drink plenty of water, wear your sunscreen, try not to overexert yourself because we could all become susceptible to any sort of heat-related illness like heat stroke or anything like that. So let's take a look at our future tracker now. So what we're going to see this evening is some of the showers that we saw along the coast of Labrador push offshore, but that will bring with it some showers to parts of the west coast, and they'll cross the northern peninsula as well. So we'll look at the future tracker bringing that into the overnight. And by the time you wake up tomorrow, we'll see some showers along parts of the south coast as well. Things clearing out into Labrador. Taking a look at our forecast for tonight now, our overnight lows are still going to be pretty warm. 17 in St. John's, partly cloudy, winds gusting to 40. But as we round down to the south coast, we will probably see some drizzle in the overnight, 16 in Marystown and 16 in Port aux Basques there on the south coast. And as we round up to the west coast, our overnight lows will be into the 20s, but you'll be picking up 5 millimeters of rain, that precipitation you just saw move across the future tracker there. And we'll pick up some showers or some drizzle into the northern peninsula and across much of Labrador, where your overnight low is still pretty warm. You're going to want to have your fan on tonight, absolutely, for sure. And as we move into tomorrow, we'll have some clearing across Labrador, see some clearing, but also some drizzle and some cloud cover here along the south and southwest coasts of the island. And that'll move back across with some cloud cover as we go into Wednesday, which will still be a very warm day. Very muggy. People say it's not the heat, it's the humidity. We'll be feeling the humidity for most part of the week here through eastern parts of the province. As we get into central and west, it's going to get into very humid territory tomorrow and into Wednesday before we get a little bit of reprieve there Thursday into Friday, where it'll be a little bit more comfortable, and into Labrador we'll also feel muggy for you there as well, where you'll be under heat warning for parts of the south east coast. Talking about tomorrow now, those numbers in red, that's your humidex value. So it's going to be 27 degrees tomorrow in St. John's with a mix of sun and cloud. But what we could see on the southern Avalon, it will be cooler, about 18 degrees. You will see some drizzle along the southern Avalon, and you'll pick up some drizzle in Marystown as well on the Burin Peninsula, but feeling like 29 there, feeling like 33 in St. John's, and feeling as warm as 37 degrees on the Bonavista Peninsula tomorrow with the humidex. And as we go further west, further into the interior of the island, it is going to heat up even further with temperature values ranging from 29 to 31 degrees through central Terra Nova, Clarenville, Twillingate. So it's going to be really, really warm, factoring in that humidex 40 degrees. I don't think I've ever said that before in Newfoundland. It is going to be a very, very warm day. Again, watch out for those heat-related illnesses and try to stay cool. Much cooler on the southwest coast, where we'll be picking up some drizzle. Harbour Breton 19. Could see some showers there as well. Similar along the south and southwest coast there. If that's where you need to go to be cool, well, that's where you should be. Very warm into the west coast as well. 31 with the humidex in St. Anthony, under a heat warning here in Labrador and Mary's Harbour, feeling like 39, and 36 in Cartwright. And for the remainder of Labrador, it'll still be really warm, feeling like 37 in Happy Valley, Goose Bay, and as warm as 27 in Nain. 25 degrees, feeling like 26 with the humidex for Labrador West. We'll have your long range forecast a little later in the show.
We have to sort of do our job to help the younger people transition into the new environment as well.
Flat Bay for more from the annual Bay St. George powwow. Well, it was a stunning weekend for the annual Bay St. George powwow. Flat Bay has hosted the 3-day celebration of Mi'kmaq culture every year since 2005. The crew from CBC Radio's The Signal was there. Here are some of the highlights.
Welcome to the Bay St. George annual powwow in Flat Bay. As you can see behind me, there's a lot of activity going on, from dancing, there's vendors, from food to different art. There's also friends and family meeting up together. All of this is a celebration and an honoring of Mi'kmaq culture. We've been here for a couple days. We've been talking to a lot of people, and here are some of the folks we spoke to earlier today who talked about who they are and their thoughts on powwow. How's powwow going for you?
Powwow is always amazing. It's my favorite weekend of the year. We get to see so many of our friends and our powwow family that we only get to see once a year. We've got people come from all across Canada and down into the United States and all across Newfoundland. So we get to see all of our friends and relatives that we haven't seen since last powwow. So it's my favorite weekend of the year.
Well, in my generation, it's particularly important because 40 years ago, we weren't really accepted. Now we've come almost full circle. So I find it's my duty to share, my presence and representing veterans as we transition into this new stage where Newfoundland Indigenous, and I commonly say Newfoundland Indians because that's how we grew up believing we were, we have to sort of do our job to help the younger people transition into the new environment as well.
Can you tell me a bit about what you're wearing? Because I love it.
I'm wearing my shawl that one of Mom's friends gave me that used to babysit me. And I'm wearing my drumming group skirt, and I'm wearing my shawl that someone made me.
And when did you get your face painting done?
Just now.
Okay. How much do you love face painting?
A lot.
If someone was new to coming here for a powwow, what would be something you would really recommend for them?
Talk to as many people as you can. Communication is definitely key. You can hear a lot of great stories from a lot of great people. And some people are not in regalias and they're not dressed up. And you don't know unless you talk to them. The stories that people have are incredible.
We'll take you back now to the North American Indigenous Games in Halifax. We'll have continuing coverage this week thanks to our team on the ground. The CBC's Amanda Gear is meeting athletes like Shane Winters from Makovic.
Is it your first nag?
Yeah, I was actually supposed to come to the last one, but they canceled it. So I'm lucky enough to get this one.
So good. Yeah. How old are you?
I'm 19.
What are some lessons that you've learned from playing volleyball that you can take into other parts of your life?
Well, just whenever you do something wrong or maybe make a mistake, just come back harder the next time.
Well, thousands were in attendance last night for the official opening ceremonies of the 2023 Indigenous Games. And as we heard earlier, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau was there and helped kick things off. And the athletes were on parade. Here's a look at some of the highlights from Halifax.
We've got a beautiful sunny day today. The heat is on, the energy is up, and we are ready. Jalossi, everyone!
What do you hope your athletes get out of it besides maybe, the competition and winning?
Pride, and again, just an overall togetherness.
Let's go! Team Nova Scotia! Yes! Hey, Grandma! Get me the dominant!
It is a great pleasure. I'm here today to welcome you all in the North American Indigenous Games 2023. It was the vision to have Mi'kmaq united again, to see all the Indigenous brothers and sisters here today working together, thriving again. We have all long challenges yet. I believe we have the path of healing and hope all the Indigenous communities are one day restored with all one. Our ultimate goal is to work and promote unity, and strength.
So here we are today, 16 events, 5,000 athletes, coaches and staff from over 750 Indigenous nations. This is the biggest sporting event we have hosted in Atlantic Canada, and you're part of it.
You've come this far, now play hard, play fair, and most importantly, have fun. Remember who you were, where you come from, and who you represent. Your family, your community, and your nation.
So this dream that I have, it's now time for me to pass on that dream to the athletes here. Take this dream, nurture it, use it, and realize that you're making memories that'll last a lifetime.
We're not saying Indigenous, y'all say games. Indigenous!
We are the love, we are the spark, one voice singing in the dark. We are the light shining through one heart, me and you.
When I clap, clap along with me, guys. Ready?
We are the love, we are the spark, one voice singing in the dark.
Come on!
We are
North American Indigenous Games. I know y'all can do better than that. Come on!
heart, me and you.
Western parts of the country are still dealing with hundreds of active wildfires, but this year's extreme weather isn't unique to Canada. Climate experts see what's happening as part of a worsening trend, a global crisis that needs more attention and concrete action. Anayat Singh reports.
The planet looks angry this summer. The world experienced the hottest week ever recorded, and places like the southern US, parts of Europe and China are sweltering. Add to that devastating flooding in Asia and wildfires in North America, including here in Canada. The ongoing climate crisis is bringing misery everywhere. This resident of Delhi, India's capital, says the swelling Yamuna River has damaged her crops and destroyed her belongings. All scientific evidence points to a warming planet directly linked to human activities. Carbon emissions have already pushed average global temperatures 1.2 degrees above pre-industrial levels, a seemingly small number that belies major suffering affecting vulnerable communities around the world.
So the further global warming goes up, the more you're going to start sampling more extreme weather. So things that used to be kind of rare events become relatively common.
And there's more to come. The El Nino weather pattern caused by periodic warming in parts of the Pacific Ocean has returned this year. It tends to disrupt weather across the world, but this time it's compounding the already dramatic impacts of climate change.
Seeing the human toll of that is really kind of distressing to see, even if it's kind of what we were expecting.
The world's two largest emitters, the US and China, are holding high-level climate talks this week. The suffering of millions across the globe is now adding fresh urgency as the planet bakes. Anayat Singh, CBC News, Toronto.
Italian meteorologists are calling the next phase of their heat wave Charon, a reference to Greek mythology and the ferryman who carries the souls of the dead to the underworld. That paints a picture for sure. They're feeling 45 degrees plus in Italy. The extreme heat is raising concerns as a study released this week suggests that last summer, as many as 61,000 people may have died in the sweltering heat across Europe. Well, this next story is about a wildlife interaction on the highway, though it may not be what you might expect. Worried for the well-being of a young calf, a driver in BC decided to bring the animal to a rehabilitation center. The problem, the man used his work vehicle to perform the good deed, and he lost his job as a result. I'll let Tim tell you what happened.
Where's Mom? Hey, where'd Mom go?
I noticed that calf moose on the opposite shoulder of the road all by itself. I pulled up kind of parallel with the moose calf, and like I said, as an outdoorsman, you scan the area, and I didn't see Mom around at all, and I'm well aware of leaving stuff alone and letting nature do its thing. As soon as I stopped and opened my door, she just comes trotting across the road and proceeds to try and get in the pickup truck.
What am I gonna do for you? Where's Mom?
Looked up across the road. I just happened to glance over there. There was that black bear standing there. And so I scooted her over to the passenger side and stuck her in the truck. I believe that bear had been chasing probably her and her mom, and she just ran out of gas before her mom. I waited there for a little bit, thinking maybe Mom would stick her head out of the woods, make an appearance. Still never saw her. My next option is to get you some help. As soon as I got into service, I tried to call the conservation officer. I believe strongly enough that what I did was the right thing for that calf. I told everybody right from the start that I fully realize it is against the law to pick up wild animals off the road or from out in nature, anywhere. All that being said, if they had decided that my actions were somehow, nefarious and it was a bad call and they decided to charge me, that's fine. I would rather pay that fine or get in trouble and still knowing that in my heart that I did the right thing.
Okay, well, hang on. What am I going to do for you? Where's Mom?
Well, this Labrador hamster is breaking the internet with more than 89 million views on TikTok. This spaghetti-loving critter is named Crumb. He's on vacation with his family in PEI, and after enjoying his hamster food, his family treated him to a couple of pieces of spaghetti. Now, he is on vacation after all. That is pretty adorable. I see why 89 million people watch this video. Yeah, we're fully in it now with all the heat. It just feels like summer has fully arrived in the east, and it's so beautiful out there right now too, with all the flowers in bloom.
So nice. This is what we dream of all winter long, or all June long, when it felt like it was 8 degrees for an entire month.
Yeah, January is just a distant memory now.
What was that?
What was it?
Don't complain about the heat. No. Don't do it. No, I mean, tomorrow you can totally complain about the heat with 40 degrees.
40-degree humidex. That's in central areas, right?
I don't think I've ever experienced that kind of heat personally, or really heard about that happening here a whole lot either.
Very high. If Ashley were here, she'd be able to tell us if we hit a 40 humidex.
She would, yeah. We're going to have to ask our friends at Environment Canada about that tomorrow. All right, let's take a look what's in store now, a little further afield. So we're looking at Tuesday evening here now. We're going to have some showers sweep across the southern part of the island and the northern peninsula and through central Labrador there as well. And as we get into Wednesday, it is looking similar to our forecast for Tuesday. So for the eastern part of the island, we're going to have warm temperatures, 29 in St. John's, 31 in through central, through Gander and Grand Falls, Windsor. A touch cooler down on the south coast where we're going to get some showers, possibly some drizzle as well in the west coast as well, where it'll be a little bit warmer in Corner Brook at 27. Similar conditions on the northern peninsula in St. Anthony, a degree cooler though than the Corner Brook area, cooling down into the Straits. But look at this in Cartwright, 31 degrees, picking up a few showers there in through Happy Valley, Goose Bay, still warm at 26 with some showers, a little bit more sun in Lab West, and a nicer day in Nain at 20 degrees, still quite warm for northern Labrador there. And Wednesday into the overnight, we'll see those showers push across much of the island and Labrador and really bring us a little bit more of a sprinkle. It looks like we'll see more of those showers persist for much of the province. 33 though in Corner Brook, 28 into Grand Falls, Windsor, 27 in Gander. So temperatures backing off with some of that drizzle there. Still into the 20s for the southern part of the island. It looks like we'll see a little bit of sun though in St. John's and 27, but as we go up into Labrador, still for the most part into the 20s, 28 in Cartwright, still warm there along the coast for you folks, and 26 in Nain, 24 in Happy Valley, Goose Bay, and 20 in Labrador City. Taking a look at our 5-day forecast now, Tuesday and Wednesday looking nice, 27, 29 degrees, still really warm overnight lows. But as we get into Thursday, we'll pick up some showers. Friday, Saturday, a little bit more cloud cover, still nice temperatures, 23 degrees, 17 for your overnight low. Looking into central Newfoundland now for your 5-day, Tuesday, Wednesday looking nice, Thursday picking up some cloud and possibly a few showers there as we head towards the weekend. Friday looking decent, 60% chance of showers, 27 though on Saturday. For Western Newfoundland, the remainder of your week looks like you got a chance of showers there. Friday's looking like your day to get out and do whatever you need to do outside because it's looking like a lovely one. Saturday brings back that chance of showers. As we head into Labrador, for eastern Labrador, it looks like you'll be picking up some possible precipitation Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday, still with temperatures in the 20s and your overnight lows in the teens. For western Labrador, Tuesday, looking like a nice day tomorrow, picking up some showers Wednesday, Thursday, Friday looking okay, but you could have some showers again on Saturday. And look at these guys. Aren't they cute?
They look like they're posing.
They are. I'm calling them the three amigos. We've had hamsters, we've had moose, now we have puffins.
Oh,
this is courtesy of Pat Thompson. If you've got any photos to share with us, you can do so there below.
Wonderful shot. Thank you, Pat, for that.
Aren't they gorgeous?
They're such cheerful looking creatures, for sure.
Majestic.
And you know, it's kind of nice that we're getting all the showers mixed in with all these hot temperatures just because of the fire risk right now. It's nice to see that we're getting little doses of rain in between, especially with everything that's happening.
Cool you off a little bit, keep the plants going. I know my basil was outside and was pretty dramatic yesterday. It was wilted, it needed some water, so maybe a sprinkle will help some of the plants.
Sure, drink it up. All right, that's it for us on this Monday evening. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good night.